Hey guys, Peter here to do an album review. Today I'm here to tell you all about the latest album from the Amity Affliction, Everyone Loves You Once You Leave Them, out right now on Pure Noise Records. This album has 11 tracks, 36 minutes in length, and this is the band's 7th full-length studio album. In my opinion, this is an album that really pulls more from the heavier side of the band. Having said that, the album is still very melodic, very melancholic, and there's a really cool balance between those two worlds. But when you look at the pendulum is definitely swinging more towards the heavier side. Not just from a musical perspective, but also from a lyrical perspective. The lyrical content of this album is really heavy, emotionally heavy, and that allows them to balance the record really well, creating an underlying heaviness that it's either present in the music or on the lyrical content on tracks that perhaps sound a lot more melodic, a lot more melancholic, and they don't have those same driven guitar riffs that you get on the heavier tracks. So the mixture of these two elements really allows the overall playability and structure of the album to be very fluid. It gives you almost a feeling of a tunnel. The album starts off, in my opinion, a lot heavier, a lot more driven, sound-wise. Obviously, the lyrical content is still there, the heaviness of the topics is still there, but musically, the album starts off feeling a lot more heavy. And then it kind of progresses into a more melodic and melancholic approach, still with heaviness throughout the tracks, but not as heavy as the opening tracks on the album are. This creates the sense of you going from darkness into light. It creates the feeling that the album starts off more with aggression and pain, with those kind of feelings of not knowing how to deal with certain situations, with certain things that are happening in your life, in your environment, in the world around you. And as the album progresses, there's a sense of growth. There's a sense of learning, there's a sense of self-reflection, awareness, understanding, and that is reflected in the music and in the lyrical content as the album progresses. So I really like the journey that they take you on, because this album, more than anything, is really a journey. You really feel like the band is opening the doors of their lives to you, the listener, and showing you where they've been and the progress that they have made throughout the years and where they currently are. This is a really interesting idea, and it's a really interesting concept, and it's a really interesting album from that perspective. I think when you listen to this album, you have to keep that in mind, you have to keep that approach in mind, and you have to really pay attention to what the band is telling you with every single song, because that will really dictate on how you understand the record and how you enjoy the record, because this is an album that you just don't listen to it. You really have to digest it. You really have to look at the lyrics, at the sound, how those two elements are coming together, and then how this heaviness is there throughout every single song, but sometimes musically and sometimes lyrically. All of these things are important in order for you to fully understand what this album is about and what they're trying to achieve with this record. Overall, I really feel like this is an album that, while being heavy, like I said, either musically or emotionally, it still has a lot of pop sounding riffs, still has a lot of cool melodies, cool hooks, grooviness to the guitars. So there's still a lot there that is just not a heavy and dark record. There's still some light there, and like I said, as the album progresses, that light becomes more noticeable. So it's still an album that offers a little bit of two worlds, if you will, and really tries to balance those two worlds as good as they can throughout all the tracks, throughout all 11 tracks on this record. But it's definitely a sense of a spiral, being in darkness, coming into the light. Now, as far as songs are concerned, I want to start with All My Friends Are Dead. What an emotional track, what a heavy track in all senses. This is a heavy track musically, vocally, and lyrically. This track is just pure heaviness all the way through. Very aggressive, very dynamic. I really like the mixture of the more melodic components that this track has to offer. Really balances the track really well. It's one of the first tracks on the album, and really sets the tone for what the mood of this record is going to be as far as the music and the lyrical content. Great dynamics. It has some moments of more depression. It has some moments of more reflection that is represented both in the lyrics and the music, but overall very well balanced, with ups and downs that really create a lot of melody and heaviness and are able to match those two elements and combine them extremely well all the way through from the beginning to the end of the track. Soak Me In Bleach, another song that has a lot of melody, a lot of melancholic vibes to it. A song that, in my opinion, offers a little bit of a glimpse into what the whole record is and what the whole record has to offer. specifically more from the side of combining melody and aggression, melody and heaviness, both on a lyrical perspective and a musical perspective. I really like the somber atmospheres that this song has to offer. There's really some somber moments in this track that really make you reflect and really allows the song to have a very interesting dynamic, a very introspective dynamic to it. There's some heavy moments to it. They come in as jolts. The song doesn't have really stretched out moments of heaviness. Overall, it's a lot more melodic, a lot more melancholic. But when the heaviness comes in, it just feels like energy jolts to the track that really burst through the track and allow the song to have this up and down feeling to it. Not consistent, but an up and down feeling that just allows you to reset yourself every so often whenever that energy is really pumped into you through those heavier outbursts throughout the track. Next, Born to Lose, a song that in my opinion has great dynamics between verses and chorus. This is a song that really defines the verses and the chorus and really creates this wave of calm and anger and outburst and energy, and then goes back into the calm. The verses are definitely a lot calmer, so that gives an overall feeling to the song of being a little bit more somber, more calm, more melodic, if you will. And then with clean vocals during that part really emphasizes how melodic and melancholic it is, the verses. And then with the chorus you get a little bit more of heavier guitar riffs but also harsh vocals, so this creates even a more of an abrupt change between the verses and the chorus, giving the song more of a dynamic approach. Really doesn't have a smooth transition between verses and chorus. It's really abrupt, so it really gives you these valleys and these peaks and nothing in between. You're either in one and you're either in the other, and to me that's a pure representation of the lyrics of the song. A song that has a very negative approach to the lyrics, that has a very sad approach to the lyrics, and almost a sense of hopelessness to the lyrics, and that plays into, in my opinion, into the bipolar aspect that the track has, because this is a track that it totally reflects the lyrics. It reflects depression, it reflects being bipolar. It just doesn't have a medium. Either you're very happy or you're very angry and depressed. Like, there's just no happy medium here. It's just a song that really represents that state of mind, that represents that way of thinking, and represents that psychological problem. So I really like this song from all aspects. It's really represented musically what it has in its lyrics, and that to me is always a great thing on any single track. Alright guys, this is it. This is Amity Affliction. Everyone Loves You Once You Leave Them. Let me know your thoughts on the band, on the album, out right now, like I said, on Pure Noise Records. Use the comment section below. I'll be reading those and getting back to you. Take care, guys.